Welcome to 755 Live, about 5 minutes of what Jesus said. You can find a different command of Jesus at the weekday Bible plan. Bible.today.church is the link to get there. Just a lot of good information there about making Bible reading a part of your daily life. And then there's a command of Jesus every day that starts out with a soundbite version of the command. And then the verses that comes from. Today's soundbite, Jesus said, feed the hungry. This comes from Matthew 25, and we're going to start in verse 34. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, "Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me." And then jumping down to verse 40, and the king will answer and say to them, "Assuredly I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it unto me." Well, the opposite is true as well. Inasmuch as you did not do it for the least of these my brethren, you did not do it to me. And so Jesus is telling us here that at the end of all things, we are going to stand before him and be evaluated by how we treated the least of these. Because how we react to the needs of others is really how we are reacting to Jesus. Here lately, I've seen a lot of debate, and it's not anything new. It's just that I've seen a lot of it in the last couple of weeks. Kind of comparing sins, this big sin, this sin of the world, talking a lot about sexuality, talking a lot about, social issues and social justice, as if those are the most important things, and we have to stand against all of this wrong. But Jesus said that we would not enter the kingdom if we didn't feed the hungry. That's how important this is. And we read earlier today from John 17 where Jesus prayed that we as the church would be one, and he told us that the world would know who we are by our love one for another. But if you ask someone who doesn't follow Jesus what church people are like, would we hear, "Oh, church people feed the hungry. Oh, church people, they take care of the stranger and the prisoner and the sick and the needy"? Unfortunately, most of the people that I talk to who aren't Jesus followers, you ask them what they think the church is like, and they say judgmental. Because we spend a lot of our time condemning the world rather than obeying the commands of Jesus. Jesus said, feed the hungry. But so many times we're about getting our own needs met. In fact, that's sometimes the reason that we go to church. But it's not the preacher's job to feed us spiritually. It's not the church's job to feed us and to make us better. That's not what Jesus meant when he told Peter to feed his sheep. His sheep hear his voice, but they don't just listen to the words, they do what he said. And Jesus said, you won't enter the kingdom unless you feed the hungry. That's how important it is. How do we ignore such simple commands? And I'm not pointing fingers here. I'm looking in the mirror. Statistically, 25,000 people a day in the world die of hunger-related causes. And yet we still don't make what Jesus said a priority. And I'm not saying I'm the best example of this. I'm not at all. I'm not saying that our church has got this figured out. We don't. But what we do need to do is read the words of Jesus in such a way that it changes our actions. The things that he declared are important. Are those the things that we're hearing? Are those the things that we're striving for? Or are we in a battle to compare ourselves to how bad the world is? Jesus didn't say point fingers. He said, feed the hungry. And we won't stand before Jesus one day and answer for our church attendance or the scriptures that we posted or the memes that we shared or the political stance that we took. We're going to have to answer the question when Jesus says, I was hungry. And what did you do? Jesus said, feed the hungry. How can we put that into action today?